playoffs here this year?
We get first round.
Good evening. Tonight on More on Sunday, the story of how a peaceful Idaho valley was turned into the scene of a worldwide spectacle. A story we call Deliver Us from Evil, and a story, we must warn, not without some earthy language. It began with a lava-walled canyon in southern Idaho. A man with the carny name Evel Knievel and a surplus Army wing tank painted red, white, and blue and dubbed the Sky Cycle. Looking back, it seems nearly everyone saw it two ways. Either Evel would survive the great leap across the gulch and live richly ever after in Butte, Montana, or the steam-powered wing tank would blast him straight into the canyon wall and Harley-Davidson heaven. With all the hoopla, nobody, it seems, was thinking the unthinkable, that last month's great $6 million leap would be an abortive short hop, a fizzle, a dud. Even after all the media coverage, the press releases, the TV clips, that first sight of Evel's Canyon was sobering. Looking up the 600 feet from river bottom confirmed it. Living through a failure was out of the question. The Snake River Canyon had been a last choice for Knievel. His first big leap brainstorm, Arizona's Grand Canyon, had been quickly put off limits by the National Park Service. He had to change his methods, too. The Snake River Canyon jump had forced him out of the world of motorcycles and Mack trucks and into a world of missiles and mission control. The result was the Sky Cycle. But it wasn't really a cycle, not with 3 fixed wheels and a rocket engine. And the jump really wasn't a jump, not with a launch tower, an automatic pilot, and radio communications. Such realities had been glossed over by Evel and his publicity men. 300 assorted cycle leaps and some 50 broken bones had captured world attention. Doctors didn't put plaster casts on Evel. They bent him back into shape. With that kind of image, all he had to do was murmur things like, keep my word, jump, crash, die, and fans were ready to drop $25 to watch. At times, during that last week before Jump Sunday, the media blotted out the fans and bikers. Over 500 had signed in. The London papers, the networks, the New York Times, the wire services, all were there. Even an Aspen, Colorado weekly. Some took Evel seriously, some laughed at the man. But most of the media seemed to have traveled to Twin Falls to be part of the event, as much as report on it.
Howdy, my name's Renzo. I'm working for the Pacifica News Service. And they sent me up here to cover this, I suppose. It's just been like a 4-day Fellini movie. It's just really crazy.
You ride a bike, you have to pay dues. You want to suffer a little bit of pain, liable to lose your life or your limb.
I'm not an actor, Mr. Cameraman. Do you understand that? I said have a smile on your face.
I don't smile at anybody.
All right, get him out. Get him out. Out. Go on, get out of here.
Evel was having a bad day. Test procedures had malfunctioned. He'd been crammed on his back in the tin can rocket and the blood had gone to his head.
I'm here to risk my life. I don't care what some of the writers say or some of the announcers say. And you can see it, what it's doing to me. And you'll do one thing for me. I do not ask for your respect, I demand it.
If any of the press were to forget about respect, Evil's 100 security commandos were there to remind. It was a crazy job for the media. Events outside the launch compound had been reported, re-reported, and re-re-reported. The main attractions, Evel and his sky cycle, were behind chain links and shotguns. Numerous press conferences were held where reporters were treated to the likes of Mr. Knievel Sr.
Toyota automobile dealer in Butte, Montana. I've been an imported car dealer for 22 years.
Evel's personal pilot drew a lot of attention, too.
Cullum, and they call me whatchamacallum.
That's your real name?
That's one of them, yes.
How'd you get a name like that?
Well, that's from the Whatchy Indians in southern Illinois.
Are you an Indian?
Yes, Irish Indian.
The first sky cycle fell in the canyon during a test. It lay in the dust of the press compound. The Chuckles Candy people had put up a canvas press center. From this very tent, fast-breaking bulletins were flashed to a waiting world.
I feel that I have to be here. It's something I wanted to do. I was not assigned. I requested to come here because I felt that this was something that will not be seen again probably in years.
Oh, hell no, it's not a newsworthy event. It's only worth coming to because have a good time, you know, drink beer, go crazy.
In Idaho?
Of course. No, why not, you know, elsewhere, Montana, any place, you know, any place you can go crazy, drink beer, write stories, hang out with weird people.
In one sense, the hustle is, but that's all. The hustle is newsworthy because it's so colossal.
I think what this is all about is money. I don't think these people are coming to watch Evel Knievel die. They're coming to watch him make $6 million, since money is what America's all about. And here is this white trash redneck who's suddenly worth more than most of the corporation presidents.
Evel may have out-millionaired some corporation presidents, but there are at least two who have him beaten at the earnings game. Meet Mr. Sheldon Saltman on the left and Mr. Bob Arum on the right. They're the promoters of the event.
Please, Con.
Arum's the brains. He got his start promoting closed-circuit prize fights.
The jump won't be a rip-off, even if it goes flawlessly, which we at Top Rank hope and pray that it will. Anybody who breaks his bones for a living deserves a good paycheck. It's worth remembering, too, that the last cycle stuntman who called Knievel a phony killed himself trying to prove how easy Evel's stunts are.
And he's up to the thing, and he gets up to the stair, and he says...
Shelley Saltman is the mouth. The one-time sports announcer obviously loved his role as reigning flack.
You know, and Bob nearly dropped his teeth, you know. And I laughed. Can you imagine 4 years of college, 2 years of getting a master's, 3 years of law school, and I'm in the middle of an Idaho potato field. You know, we've got the Wallendas on the high wire and Manzini escaping and Swaypole Parker doing his thing and the medalist at the edge of the canyon in a motorcycle. So, you know, if I were a kid and want to spend my birthday party or something and take my friends, that's where I'd be. It is. And I'd like to say one thing, if I may, Jim, before we say so long. I'd like to say to you what Evel Knievel says wherever he goes and whatever he signs. If he were talking to you right now, he'd say, hey, Jim, happy landings. Zeke, who's really become fond of Evel and is concerned, and Zeke and I are both Jewish, he gave him a high, which means in Jewish long life.
Right.
Evel wore it along with the Jesus medal at his jump in Toronto and won't take it off. For a brief moment in our dull, mundane life, for a brief moment where we don't worry about taxes, we don't worry about political notoriety, we don't worry about people who are trying to rip other people off, here is a man who vicariously we can live through.
love
I
this
can't wait to be at the courthouse when they bring you in.
What am I doing?
You're going to be the Jed Magruder of hype.
Of hype?
Who's taking care of this other hour of entertainment besides Evil with the other acts and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
You are?
Yeah, it's all done. What do you need?
Well, I've come 3,000 miles and I have a two-bit contract in.
What contract? I don't need a deal with you.
And who's this show?
Benny Krosky, the human bond.
What does he do?
He blows himself up. That's really what he does.
A 2x6 coffin.
There's no place to put you.
Because I can make that thing about as quick as you want it, or...
Let me do this.
Would you give me a try?
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure there's no shot.
Money's no object.
That isn't the point. I always pay somebody
I know,
because you're a good actor.
No object. Well, I never...
Will you call Sandy about 4:30, 5 o'clock?
I sure will.
Okay. Make no promises, but I'll try.
And I've got another guy that knows...
You got all your equipment? You're
yes.
self-sufficient?
In fact,
let's see what you can do. I can't make you promises.
I need 2 hours is what I need. I mean...
To prepare?
Prepare.
All right. Let's...
I've got explosives on it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm covered.
Okay. Through fire and flame, through broken glass and over junk, and I just read in Evil's room a telegram that said, what you're doing is dangerous enough, but this man is utterly ridiculous. So I wrote it.
No, the letter A.
Yes.
Thank you. Put the bill in my hand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take this stuff off my face. Are you ready, Jan? I'll give the bill back in just a second. Jan, come in close, wherever you are. Remove the tape away to the first one.
The Twin Falls Times News says the Evel Knievel's canyon jump attempt is, quote, an exercise in mutual exploitation, and calls on local residents to support the county fair instead. The Times News editorial says, and we quote, Evil's flashy event is imported. It has no roots here and will not have lasting impact here. Instead, it is a media event whose brief life hinges on a closed-circuit television blitz and the razzle-dazzle of the professional super salesman.
Had the Twin Falls Chamber of Commerce really suffered a premonition of the Knievel Carnival when years before they named the area Magic Valley? They were probably only touting their bountiful harvests of beans and potatoes. A few lucky residents made money on the side action, the camping, the concessions. Most, however, were left out in the cold. To them, Evil was bad news. They were wondering why a Montana boy had picked their peaceful Idaho Valley to play host to 15,000 bikers, groupies, cowboys, and other assorted out-of-towners and crazies.
Roach clips, papers, hash pipes. Come get 'em out of their hat.
Let us in! Let us in!
You make it! You make it! You make it!
I'm going to hold it. You'll be a favor.
You will!
We need to get as much help up here in this security area as we can to have nothing go wrong. Please do me a favor. Tell the guys, the racers, if they see anybody fooling around these gates and stuff, or anybody, please to tell them to keep back because we need some help.
Right, sir, right.
Okay.
Right. You make it! You make it!
Evil had predicted a crowd of 50, maybe 75,000. 15,000 arrived and security was stretched thin. Someone called the event a redneck Woodstock. It was redneck, but it wasn't Woodstock. About the only thing common to both were the Jesus freaks.
What's that?
Sex works.
Yeah?
It's by Moses David, Children
free?
of God. Yeah. I mean, it helps if you have a donation, but you should read it.
Quarter?
Whatever. Thanks.
Yeah.
Be sure to read it.
Okay.
Okay.
Gonna go up and fire a little test shot and give you all a little bath.
Let it go! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
A misfire. No bath for the bikers. Yet. Technicians hurried the repairs. After all, the blood was pooling in Evil's head again.
Go! 1, go!
going to apologize to that cameraman for roughing him up?
I wouldn't apologize, and if I see the little son of a bitch again, I'll throw him out of here. How's that?
Yesterday you said something about a difficulty getting out of the machine.
Why should I apologize to him? Is he a friend of yours?
No, I don't know him. However, I think you should apologize to him.
You what?
I think you should apologize.
Well, I want to straighten you out right now. Number one, I was in the Sky Cycle all day. Number two, you were a guest of mine in my press area. Do you understand that? And so was he. Number three, when I've been up there all day and that blood's come out of my legs and my feet and gone to my head, and I come down to want to get some rest and get along with you people, you don't tell me to come out and stand up and smile. If I want to come out and try and get along with you, you should at least allow me to sit down and smile. So tell him I said to kiss my ass. But I don't smile when I don't want to either, and I don't talk when I don't want to, so the rest of the press can now thank you because I'm going to leave. How's that, boys? Sign oil.
Motorcycle racers from all over the world will be trying for a share of the $100,000 in prize money from races associated with the Evel Knievel jump of the Snake River Canyon.
Motocross. That's the kind of racing where cycle drivers see who can bury their kidneys in the mud first. Evel had offered a purse of $100,000, and that made it the richest motocross ever, or so they said. 4 days of the competition kept the crowd's mass mind occupied. Wheelie contests, too, but the only prize for these drivers was a forbidden closer look at the Sky Cycle mounted on its tower. It was late Saturday. Everybody was waiting. Everything seemed ready, except, that is, for Boom Boom Koski. He was still having his troubles getting permission to explode.
One of the main objects was my outfit, which is just as flashy as Evel's because it's red, white, and blue and has stars and stripes and all this. And they came and told me I couldn't do it. So I told them I had a gold lame suit, and they said, well, we'll work on that. So now, up to now, everything looks good. I'm going to walk over and climb in a 2x6 coffin-like box with 5 charges of explosives in it. Then they will count down from 10 to 0. I will ignite it and totally destroy that box. And everything is fine. I will arise from there and take my bow and walk away.
Early Sunday, the last of the canyon spectators arrived to view an event which had been talked up for 6 years.
Oh, I was on my way to Alaska and got at Helena and decided to come down here because I have a lot in common with people. I'm afraid to go to Alaska, and I think he's a little afraid.
They can make it. If they can get a man to the moon, they can get a Knievel across the creek.
I've kept myself in good physical shape. I don't drink very much, and I have never taken a narcotic, and I'm ready to go. I would say to live it as God made you to live it. Don't take a narcotic. Live like you were made to live, like He put you here. That's the way to do it. I've never been afraid in my life of dying under any circumstances. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian.
I'm Evel Knievel's cousin. He invited me down here to be with him at the jump and to say the benediction before the rocket takes off, praying that God will give him a safe flight.
It was my duty to thank God that I lived in a country like this, and that when I look up that ramp and see that old glory flying there in front of me, that I could thank God that I had a chance to do this. If I have to hit that wall over there on the other side, I think that maybe I would rather do that than become the victim of a senseless tragedy. I'd rather be busted into the wind like a meteorite and not become just dust. I think.
What happens? I'm going to take your camera.
Why is that?
Because we don't want the movie camera on the ground.
Those in the press area, please. No more movie cameras at this time. No more movie cameras, please.
Let's grab it. Wait a minute, I want to grab it right. I don't want to...
Knievel appears to have landed in the Snake River.
Evel definitely tried to get out, but he couldn't. And it appears that he hit the side of the canyon. He did not go into the river.
Evel Knievel is standing in the boat and waving. He is alive and well.
Are you going to try it again? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I sat in it and gave it my best, and I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that was it might have been a ripoff.
He's a hell of a guy. I enjoyed it.
He's got guts.
A wonderful person.
It was good. It was good. It was worth it. It was worth it.
Anybody can get a party like this together is worth it.
If they do it again in New York, we'll be there from California.
Evel Knievel's parachute, right here. You got it on time. This is it, 50 bucks. Come on!
50 cents. You want a piece? That's the original. Dig it, man. Dig it. That's Evel Knievel's parachute, man. Right here. The original. The original, man. 50 cents a hunk. Right here. Come and get it. Right here. Right here. 50 cents.
Some postscripts to our story tonight. The NBC cameraman who was shoved around by Evel Knievel says he's very happy Evel survived the jump, and he's suing him for over $1 million. Promoter Bob Arum has admitted that Evel's supposed $6 million guarantee was all a publicity hoax. According to one source, Evel probably got no more than a few $100,000. And finally, Boom Boom Koski never did get a chance to blow himself up. Next week, a report on Mongoloid children. We'll look at an experimental new method that offers hope for training and educating these severely retarded kids. And we'll meet some parents who have had to face the agonizing decision of whether to keep such a child. Our Dudley Riggs World in Review will also be on hand. There'll be some reaction to last week's program about transsexuals. Next week on More on Sunday, I'm Dave Moore.